What's up guys, Justin here with TheSketchUpEssentials.com, back with another SketchUp quick tutorial for you. So in this video we're going to talk about 8 tips for editing materials inside your SketchUp models. So before we get started, today's video is brought to you by Shaper 3D. Shaper 3D is a 3D modeling app specifically designed for use on your iPad with the Apple Pencil. Since SketchUp doesn't currently have a mobile modeling experience, consider checking out Shaper 3D if you're looking for a way to create 3D models on your iPad. It has a modeling interface that's similar to SketchUp's, but it's optimized for mobile. Plus, any model created in Shaper 3D can be exported to SketchUp or other desktop CAD formats. If you're interested in trying Shaper 3D, check it out at TheSketchUpEssentials.com/Shaper3D. Now let's go ahead and just jump into it. These tips all have to do with editing materials that are placed in SketchUp. I'm not going to talk too much about using extensions in this video. I will note that I will link to an extension for THRUPAINT, which is a fantastic extension for editing materials as well. But these are things that you can do inside of SketchUp itself in order to adjust your materials. So I will also note that I am doing this on a PC. So if you have a Mac, this will look a little bit different. Some of your stuff may work the same, but your interface and some other things like that, saving materials, work differently on a Mac than they do on a PC. So tip 1 is you can adjust the size of materials inside SketchUp using the materials toolbar in your tray. So like if I go in and I use the sample paint to sample this brick material that I've applied to this face, you can resize this by clicking the Edit tab inside your Materials section of your tray. So when you click the Edit tab, if you go down below, you're going to notice there's a section that has a couple different dimensions in there. That's going to be the width and the height of this material. So if I was to go in and adjust one, like let's say I was to adjust this so that it was 6 feet, instead of 4'10", you can see how my bricks get bigger. Or if I was to go to something like 10 feet, they would get even bigger still. And so what this is referring to is this is referring to changing the size of the tiling of the image. And so when SketchUp creates a texture on a face like this using an image, what it's doing is it's tiling an image over and over again. So if I was to change this to something like 1 foot, you can see how this gets really small, and you can actually tell that this is an image that's getting repeated over and over again. So what this is doing is this is changing the size of that tiling. So the other thing to note is probably 90% of the time you want to make sure this little chain is not broken, because what the chain does is this maintains the aspect ratio of this material. So if you break the chain and then you do this, if I was to change this to 10, now you can see how that gives you a lot of distortion. So generally speaking, unless you have a reason to try to distort your image, make sure you leave this little lock. Make sure you leave the lock aspect ratio option checked. Alright, so tip 2 is not only can you adjust the size using the materials section of your tray, you can also adjust the size and placement of a texture by right-clicking, going to Texture, and clicking on Position. And what this does is this will pop up these little pins that you can use to adjust the location of the texture on your face. Now I will note you need to make sure you're on the raw face of an object. So if I was to make all of this into a group, and then I was to apply that same metal panel material on the outside of the group, you can see how this isn't going to give me the option to do that because this isn't a raw face. So, and then if I come in here and I right click, you can see how it won't let me do this either, because this face, if you look up above, doesn't actually have the texture applied to it. The group does. So if I click on the outside of the group, the texture is applied to it. So you need to make sure when you're trying to do this that you're actually on the raw face inside the object. So you just apply this to your object, and then you can right click, go down to Texture, and click the button for Position. And so these different pins allow you to place and size this texture. So you can single click and move your mouse around to set where your pin is going to be, and then you can click and drag this in order to place it. So you can also set a pin like this one, like this green one. This one will allow you to resize your texture by clicking and dragging. So if you want to be more precise with the way you place this texture, you can do that using the Position Texture toolbar. And I will try to remember to link to a fuller tutorial on how to do all of this in the notes down below. Alright, so tip 3. Tip 3 is sometimes getting materials to map to curved faces like this one is a little bit difficult. And the reason that that's difficult is because if you go to view and you look at hidden geometry, you can see how this face is actually made up of a whole bunch of individual faces. Like if I was to change my style so that we're on hidden line only, we don't see the textures anymore, you can see how this face is actually made up of a number of different individual faces. That's how SketchUp makes up curved faces. Well, sometimes it struggles with how to apply a material like this one to this face, and so you get this weird distortion in here. Well, what you can do is you can use what's known as a projected texture in order to map this material properly. So the way that that's going to work is you can sample this material, and what I've done is I've created a copy of the base of this shape up above. So the flat part of the shape, you can apply this material to that shape. And then what we're going to do is we're going to right click on this material, we're going to go down to texture, we're going to select the option for projected. And projected means that SketchUp, instead of trying to apply this to each individual face, is actually going to project this texture on whatever face it goes on. So kind of like if you were to use a projector to project a movie on a wall, this is you being able to project this material down here. And one thing to note once you do this is you need to go up and you need to sample this material, because when you made this one projected, you made it unique from the one that's down here. So you need to make sure to select this with the paint bucket. And then if you click on this face, you can see how that texture is actually getting projected along this face. For tip 4, you can actually tie the last two tips together in order to adjust the size of a projected texture. So in this case, let's say that I have a sky and I try to project it along this curved face. You can see how that doesn't work very well because of the same problem. SketchUp's trying to apply this individually to each individual face. So what you can do instead is you can apply this material to this face, right click on it and click projected. Inside your texture section, you can sample that and then you can apply that along this face right here. And that's great, but you can see how the location is wrong along this face. So what we can do is we can use the position texture tools. So we can use position, and we can actually position this clouds image so that it fits a little bit better on this face. We'll right click and click done. And then if we resample this texture and apply it to this face, you can see how the sizing is correct. So when you size this on this face and then select it, the sizing gets applied to the projected face of the texture as well. All right, so tip 5 is adjusting the colors of materials. So you can adjust the colors of different materials that are applied or that are created by using tiling images using the materials section of your tray. And the way that works is you go in the Edit tab, and there's a really important box down here called Colorize. So sometimes you may have tried this where you come in, you don't have the Colorize box checked, and you try to adjust this to be a different color, and you can see how you get all this weird texture distortion by sliding on the color wheel. Well, what you can do is if you check this box for colorize, what that's going to do is that's going to colorize the image that's in here. It's going to normalize the way that that this image looks. And now, with that colorize box checked, you can adjust the color of your texture by using the color wheel. So, and this basically works for any image that's being, or any material that's using a texture image to create your texture. Tip 6 is if you've ever done this before, you might have been a little iffy on doing it because there's not really a clear way to take this back to what it was before. Well, what you can do in this case is there's actually a button off to the right that says undo color changes, so you can take that back. So let's say we had come in here and we had made this more of a red brick or maybe more of a black dark brick. We didn't really like it. You can click on the button right here to undo color changes. And I believe this button down below for reset color will also do that. So there's a button down here for reset color that'll take this back to the original color. So you don't have to worry about making a change to a texture and then not liking it, not being able to get back to what it was before. Tip 7 is saving a material to your library. So let's say I was to come in here and I was to create a new material, and we were to call it something like wood floor. And let's say that I was to And let's say that I was to select a wood floor material like this one, and I was to apply it to this face. So I have a nice wood floor in here, and this is a wood floor I downloaded from polygon.com, which is a website that I use to download textures. But let's say I created a texture like this one. I did a whole bunch of work and I wanted to save it. So in this case, first of all, I would name it wood floor herringbone. But let's say we wanted to save this to our library so we could use it later. Well, what you can do is you can go to the Select tab, and you can go to the top of this drop down where it says In Model, and if you scroll down and find that material that you've created, if you right click on it, you can click the button for Save As. You can actually save that in a folder. So in this case, I would click the Save button, and now this material has been saved into that folder. So you can save and store textures so you don't have to redo this over and over again. And you can actually use that to create kind of a material library inside of SketchUp. And then tip 8 is you can actually open a custom folder in your materials section of your tray. So over here in your materials section in your drop down, you can actually create a custom folder for new materials. So the way that that works is you put those materials in a folder. So in this case, this is the folder that I have, and it only has 3 materials in it right now, but it has 3 different wood floor types in it. And from within that folder, you can see how I have my SketchUp materials saved in here. So I right clicked and I did a Save As to save those in here. Well, you can click on this drop down button right here and you can click Open or Create a Collection. What that's going to do is that's going to allow you to find a folder. In this case, this would be my wood folder. You can select it, and then when you do that, that folder will now show up down below this line right here. And all of the materials that you have applied in that folder, including the wood floor herringbone that I just created, you can actually access those really easily. So you can start creating custom folders with your materials inside of SketchUp. So that's where I'm going to end this video. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought. Did you know about all of these? Do you have any material tips that you'd like to see me cover in the future? I just love having that SketchUp conversation with you guys. If you liked this video, please remember to click that like button down below. If you're new around here, remember to click that subscribe button for new SketchUp content every week. If you like what I'm doing on this channel, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Every little bit helps, even if it's only $1 a month. So make sure you check out that link in the notes down below. But in any case, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.